Welcome to the Rhode Island DD Community Forum. Tuesday, March 19th, 2024. Hosted by Advocates in Action Rhode Island.
Thank you, everybody who's jumping into the forum. We got a little bit of a late start. We apologize for that, but we are now getting on Facebook Live, and then we'll get started.
Cal, can you explain the panelist thing that we just talked about, please?
So if you have a window that shows up that says, please click to join as a panelist, it says, the box says, the host would like to promote you to be a panelist. And as a panelist, you can unmute and start the video, which means you'll be able to be visible to others in the webinar. If the host or other panelists decide to record, live stream, or archive the webinar after you unmute, your participation will be included. So click the blue button that says join as a panelist, which means yes.
And keep your mic off. As you're coming in, you'll also notice that we're recording this. So just say okay, because we're recording it, and you'll be able to watch a recording of the webinar afterwards. Keith is going to introduce you, Heather. He's going to give you a great big write-up and everything. Really.
Oh, Deb.
Oh, Keith. Are you a co-host now, Keith? Do you have that power?
I'm going to kick this off by just giving a quick message. I was emailing with Kevin Savage earlier, and he wanted me to share with everybody that he'd like to extend his greetings to this wonderful community and let you know that he will miss being here, and he looks forward to connecting next time. So yeah, so he sent his regards and is bummed that he is missing this meeting, because honestly, the forum, it's the place to be, right?
It sure is.
Yes. So okay, Keith, why don't you go ahead?
All right. Hello, my name's Keith Wilcox. I'm the president of Advocates in Action. And we want to thank you all for coming to this DD Community Forum. Hold on.
We just put Keith on the spot like 2 minutes ago in our previous meeting.
Yeah, Deb always does that. And just want to introduce Heather and Mickey.
Lindsay. Close.
Yeah.
Thank you, Keith. Thank you for that introduction.
Yeah.
I know what it's like to be put on the spot. I understand. Hello, good afternoon, everybody. Thank you all for joining us. I'm going to start with some staffing updates, just so everybody has updated information on any staffing changes. We do have a new social caseworker, Caitlin Sarkis. So just in case people hear that name again, a new social caseworker. We also have Sue Mariel, who was a social caseworker and is now a social casework supervisor. So congratulations to her in her new role. And we also have Jill Murphy, who was a social caseworker for many years and has now moved as a social caseworker still, but into the eligibility unit. So she's just working on eligibility at this point in time. And we also have a new director at BHDDH, which maybe some of you have seen in the paper, but Richard Leclerc is our new BHDDH director. He could not join us this time, but I'm sure he will in one of the upcoming community forums, just to introduce himself and probably give people more of his background. So those are all the updates at this point in time for the division, but and I'm going to turn it over now to Tracy Levesque to give some updates on the SIS and the assessment unit.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Tracy Levesque. I wanted to share some updates as they relate to the SIS assessment, the supports intensity scale. We have been communicating for some months now that we did roll out a new version of the assessment last August, and we also have a new assessment process which now contains 3 steps. It is the SIS assessment, The second step is what we refer to as the additional needs and support questionnaire, which is conducted at the time of the CIS meeting. And there's 8 questions that may have some sub-questions depending upon your response to the initial question. And then about a week later, the CIS social caseworker will meet with you again as for the third step is to what is referred to as the individual follow-up. That is a brief meeting that will help identify some additional support needs that you may have that was not previously touched base on at the first 2 steps. I also wanted to share, as we've communicated for the larger community, that we are working with a consultant. Because of the new assessment, we have to develop a new algorithm that helps determine what the tier level is. And we are about 50% to where we need to be for the number of assessments that consultant needs to help determine that algorithm to be able to move forward with the new assessment completely. And that's really what the CIS updates are at this point, Heather.
Hey, thanks, Tracy.
You're welcome.
Great. So I wanted to let people know, just a brief update, but we did send an email out to individual plan writers who typically would do plan writing for individuals who self-direct. We're trying to see what people's interests are in becoming an independent facilitator. And so we were going to, again, we just sent out an email to kind of provide independent plan writers some of that information. We send it out to FIs as well. And we plan on having an informational session with the independent plan writers who do have some interest in becoming an independent facilitator. And just to let this group know briefly what an independent facilitator does, if you have not really heard that terminology, I'm going to do that. But we'll provide additional meetings in the upcoming months to discuss more about independent facilitation. But basically what we're looking for independent facilitators to do, especially again, these independent plan writers who may be interested in this work, is just they would be doing a lot of the work that they typically do with individuals already. So it's basically meeting with the individual, reviewing information that's happened in people's plan years, or if people are new to the system, kind of a review of what's been going on in their lives with the individuals who are closest to that individual, any service providers who may be working with them. And then also talking about the individual with any resources, opportunities that are out there, different types of services that may be available to them. Also assisting the individual with plan development, writing the plan, and then also doing check-ins with the individual on a bi-monthly to quarterly basis to just make sure that the individual is getting the services that they want, that things are going okay in their lives. And again, just really a check-in. So I just wanted to let people know about that. Again, we'll provide more information in the upcoming months on that, but I wanted to let people know just in case they had heard about that email going out. And we're looking at independent facilitation to be kind of a bridge to conflict-free case management. Under the consent decree addendum, we need to do some of the work that an independent facilitator will do. And because we don't have conflict-free case management in place, this is how we are going to get there. And so I also wanted to provide you an update on conflict-free case management as well. There have been 4 vendors, so 4 outside organizations who have applied to be conflict-free case managers. And those organizations are West Bay Community Action Program, CareLink, Child and Family, and Tri-County Community Action Program. But I will say the Tri-County Community Action Program is only looking to work with the EAD population, which is the elderly and adults with disabilities population. So they didn't submit to work with the IDD population. And we do know that the providers who have submitted only have so much capacity right now. So they will try to build up, but again, they're still just going through the application process too. So it does not mean that any of the people that I just named are now conflict-free case management entities. They've just applied to become one and are going through a review process with an interdepartmental team that's reviewing those applications that come in. All right, so next I'm going to move into technology. For those of you who have gone through the technology fund to receive technology, for individuals who receive technology or put in a request in rounds 1 through 4, so basically, I want to say probably like a year ago, individuals from that point until like this fall, if you would have received technology through the technology fund, there was a survey that was sent out to either yourself or the individuals who helped you put in the request for technology. We put out that survey. It was put out by the Sherlock Center because they are helping us to collect that information. And to date, they haven't received as many back. I believe there were like 63 submissions for the survey as of last week. And so I really just want to put out a plea to ask people, if you did get technology in rounds 1 through 4, or if there was somebody who assisted you to get that technology, if you could ask them to help you fill out this survey. We're really just trying to gather information from individuals on what they're using their technology for. Has it been beneficial? Kind of how many times do you use it, and what type of training you may need, or the individuals who support you may need as well too, just to help the state in planning for the future around technology. So again, it's really important that we get people to fill out that survey. So please, please do. Also, for those who do fill it out, you will be asked at the end of the survey if you want to put your name in for a raffle, and there are 4 gift cards, I believe, that will be raffled off after that. So a little bit of an incentive to apply.
Heather, do you want to, as questions appear, do you want to hold off, or they're right pertinent to that? This was just a quick one about
All
repeating
right,
the
I'll take a
names.
quick question, but I do want to get through some of this stuff because we
All
do
right,
also have a
Andrew?
presentation too. But
Can you read that question, Andrew? It's in chat, not Q&A.
So the question that I think was asked by Ann Peters, and she wants you, Heather, to repeat the name of the 4 agencies that have applied to work as conflict-free case management. And can you give some sort of timeline to expect working with independent facilitators and then the agency?
okay, so the 4 agencies, and I'll put them into the chat later just to help people, but it's West Bay Community Action Program, that was one. CareLink, Child and Family, and then Tri-County Community Action Program. But that last one is only going to work with the elderly and disabled population as of right now. That's what they put forth on their application. And then, can you tell me, Andrew, what was the other question? I'm sorry, I don't remember.
She was asking for a timeline to expect working with independent facilitators and then the agency.
So the timeline to work on with independent facilitators is fluid. We have to see how much of a response we get back and how many people are going to be interested. So we will provide updated information on that, but I can't speculate to give you that right now. So our next update will be from Elvis. He's going to provide an update on things related to employment.
Yes, I would like to report on a few items. The first one is that recently we sent an updated support employment provider questionnaire. And this new form includes additional questions to collect information on support employment staff and their credentials. We also want to inform that soon we will be resuming our employment service providers check-in meetings. Also, we'd like to inform that we have received a few target employment proposals, and we are going to be reviewing this proposal soon. Last week, we met with the director of the Warwick Public Library. This was a very interesting meeting because we have received through the forms, there are individuals who are interested in working on a library or places of that nature. So we have a very, very good meeting with the library. So we would like to, in the future, provide you an update about, they are interested in creating this opportunity. So I will keep you updated. We are also working close with the Sherlock Center and we make allies. So I have been attending some of the job fairs, and last week also attended the last one that they have scheduled. We are also currently meeting with putting together a presentation on stay as a model employer, and this presentation is going to be presented to state agencies once we finish with the PowerPoint. So that's what I have to inform.
Thank you, Elvis. I just want to add to that, for those of you who are working, or those of you who will get a job, who have an increase in pay at a job or an increase in hours, we want to remind everybody that they need to submit their income, employment earnings.
Reporting
Yes.
form, yeah.
That helps us know who in the system, who has jobs, and
Yes.
are they increasing their hours in jobs, and it's just data information that we really need. So please, again, if you do have any changes in your employment, please let us know about it. And if you have any questions about that form, you can reach out to either Elvis or Jay McKay, and they can provide more information on that. Next, I'm going to turn it over to Sue Hayward to talk about youth in transition.
Thank you, Heather. Good afternoon, everyone. Happy to give a brief update regarding transition. The transition coordinator and I have had the privilege of sharing information about transition with many parent groups these past few months in the Lincoln, Warwick, Middletown, and Barrington areas. And these are really very special evenings where we have an opportunity to talk one-on-one with students and families, and we're very grateful to be invited to participate in those nights. We've also had the chance to be part of school transition events and have shared information about adult service in several events recently held in Providence schools. These are also really wonderful opportunities for us to meet students and teachers and hear about what is happening in each school, and also what students are hoping for and working toward as they move from school to adulthood. Karen Lowell, our eligibility supervisor, and I met recently with special ed directors around the state. This was also a great opportunity to share information about adult service and most importantly, hear feedback from their perspective regarding the process of transition. And then Employment Administrator Jay McKay and I were also invited to share information during the FEAT presentation facilitated by the Sherlock Center. That's the Family Employment Awareness Training. This was another opportunity, not only to share information about adult services and employment, but to hear from families what they're thinking about when the subject of employment comes up. We recently held our quarterly transition community of practice meeting. And this community of practice is a group made up of transition contact staff in the adult service agencies, members of children's service agencies, and transition coordinators from several school districts. So during this most recent meeting, the transition advisory coordinators, who meet regularly with special educators throughout the state, shared updates about their efforts to and schools' efforts to expand employment opportunities for students. And these coordinators also shared invitation to an evening with a national speaker to be held April 3rd at the Radisson Hotel in Warwick for transition age students and their families. So this very dynamic national speaker, his name is Sean Roy, he is going to be facilitating a workshop for families on how to use the transition years in school to prepare for living a life of your choice in adulthood. Sean, he's very interesting. He's fun to be with. And the last time he was in Rhode Island and had this workshop, there was a lot of very positive feedback from families and students on how helpful and interesting it was. So if you're a transition age youth, which is a youth between the ages of 14 and 22, or the family member of a transition age youth, we really hope that you'll join us at this evening. It's going to be very enjoyable. It's free, and dinner at the Radisson is included. So I'm going to put a link to register in the chat. I also just want to thank everyone who reaches out to me to share your ideas and suggestions. And I ask that you please continue to do so, because it's extremely helpful as we work to improve transition services. So I'll also add my contact information in the chat. Thank you, Heather.
Thanks, Sue. All right, next I'm going to ask Jackie to provide an update on all things related to self-direction, her favorite topic.
Hello, everybody. Thank you, Heather. As Heather mentioned, I'm here just to share some updates regarding self-direction. So at this time, the state is continuing to work with stakeholders for guidance on employment as a direct support professional in self-direction and service brokerage. On February 28th, a presentation was facilitated with myself and the stakeholder group who assisted with the goods and service guidance documents on utilizing goods and services and some of the updates. We will be looking to schedule additional presentations. So more to come on that. The goods and service request form has been updated to include information on administrative reviews and appeals, and that is located on the BHDDH DDD website under self-direction. Last week, I was able to attend the Applied Self-Direction National Self-Direct Conference. This was a really great opportunity. There were members from the state governments, federal governments, individuals who utilize self-direct services, and family members. It's an opportunity to share and learn about best practices and innovations to expand and enhance self-direction. So I was able to gather some great information from that conference. And then last, we continue to have a contract with Ripen for self-direction, and they provide education, resources, and training in self-direction. And we actually have Susan Donovan, who's the Senior Program Director at Ripen, here to share an update on the exciting work that they've been doing in self-direction.
Thank you so much, Jackie. Hi, everyone. My name is Sue Donovan. Just a little bit of a recap from our 2023 webinars, which are on the Ripen website, www.ripin.org, on demand, so you can check out our trainings at any time. We had 6 webinars with a total of 526 registrants. Out of those folks that registered for those webinars, 343 of them were unique participants. Additional views, the on-demand viewing option has been a wonderful resource for many of us. We had an additional 1,045 views of those trainings, and we were able to collect 92 surveys last calendar year, which helps inform our programs and trainings and services so that we can continue to meet the community's needs. This year, in 2024, we started off January 30th with benefits planning from our friends at the Sherlock Center. We had 15 folks in attendance, and then 39 additional views have been watched since then. On February 27th, we had a unique self-direction connection. That's the name of this project, where we were able to have consumers, family members, caregivers, trusted allies, professionals that are working in self-direction, and some direct support professionals, DSPs, come together and in a focus group fashion or style in order to share what it is they're looking for, what would help improve their life and their work life and their fun life, their recreational life, and collect their feedback so that we could provide more opportunities. And then on March 5th, we had a panel presentation of the 6 agencies that provide that are fiscal intermediaries, helping folks that choose to self-direct. And in that webinar, we had 47 in attendance, and we have since had an additional 31 views, and that was since March 5th. Now, let's go back to the February 27th Self-Direction Connection meeting. That was really fun. And what came out of that, the input that we got from consumers, family members, professionals, really helped shape some of the things that we're doing in the near future. We will be scheduling 2 in-person events in June. One will be on June 18th, and it'll be held at Ripon, which is located at 300 Jefferson Boulevard. And we're going to be inviting parents, family members, and caregivers to come together for a meet and greet with some light refreshments, and an opportunity to socialize, connect, and share resources. And then on June 24th, we'll be having a mocktail hour, and that will be accompanied with some refreshments as well. And that evening, we will be releasing our new social and recreation events guide booklet. And this will be a great online resource, but we'll also have printed form that evening so everyone can go home with one. And it'll share different venues, different places in Rhode Island where you can have fun and do some social events and recreational type of events and get together and get out of the house. So we're really excited about that. Some upcoming webinars coming up on March 26th. We've got our friends from Advocates in Action, Why I Chose Self-Direction. We have a consumer panel, peer-to-peer panel. And then on April 30th, Employment Success, again, a consumer peer panel. And then May 21st, we will have a presentation on insurance for folks that are dual eligible. So that means they both qualify for Medicare and Medicaid, and that can get kind of tricky, and there's lots of questions around that. So we have Ripon's very own Seamus Durock, who is a senior attorney focusing on policy, healthcare policy. And our calling campaign. So back in December, I was telling you that in the beginning of November, we started a calling campaign, because although there are many of us here using technology today, we still have about 500 or 600 folks that we haven't been able to connect with, and we want to make sure that we get their input and we hear what types of resources, what types of things do they need to live their best life. And so we've made 303 contacts, and out of those 303 folks, we've been able to update their contact information for 198 of them. The top 5 most popular, most frequently asked for things that they're looking for in self-direction is increased and improved communications, and that's all around more communication, better communication with the state, with our fiscal intermediaries, with our fellow neighbors. Number 2 was staffing, finding staff, hiring staff, and keeping staff. Folks are looking for help with that. Number 3, insurance. Number 4, social and recreational activities. And number 5, employment supports. So Elvis, we're going to be busy this year. And we too, Ripon, Sharon Koshin, our self-directed support program manager at Ripon, and myself had the privilege of being able to travel to the Applied Self-Direction National Conference as well with Jackie and our partner from Sherlock Center and one of our agencies. And it's amazing when you get to go outside of your own home and talk to folks that are doing what we're doing all over the country. And we're all doing it different. We're all doing it different. And I think that was my biggest surprise, because I really thought there would be more folks doing it exactly how we're doing it, or maybe they're doing something a little different, and maybe we think that might be better and we'd like to try it, or we're doing something better, so we want to share something with them. And everyone's doing it very different. So I love the fact that we were able to connect with other states, and I know Ripon looks forward to collaborating with some national work groups that will continue to meet and connect throughout the year on implementing self-direction in their states. And that's all I have. Thank you.
Thanks, Sue. That was a great update. Appreciate that. Really was. Okay, and now I am going to turn it over to, well, before I turn it over, I do want to answer the one question that I also saw that I think we skipped over earlier, and so I will do this before we go into the presentation. For the independent facilitation, yes, there probably will be there will be trainings offered to people who choose to do independent facilitation. I don't know at this point what's going to be required, what's not. We are still meeting to discuss that. But again, when we meet with the independent plan writers, we'll talk more through that. And again, as we go through this process, which will be quickly, we will be providing some informational sessions on kind of what independent facilitation is and more around the timelines of rolling it out. So stay tuned for that. I'm going to turn it over now to Johanna and Amethyst to talk about the newsletter and I believe the rights campaign.
My name is Johanna Mercado. I am a female wearing a pink shirt, and I am very, very excited to be talking to everyone here. I am the communications lead here on a two-person team, and my counterpart is Amethyst Nieves. I don't know if Amethyst, you wanted to take a second to introduce yourself while I look for that little share screen.
Sure. My name's Amethyst. I work with Joe. I'm also a female. My camera is in black and white right now. I have a dark turtleneck, headset on, and glasses, and my background is blurred.
My name again is Johanna, but you can just call me Joe. So we're very excited here because we're doing a lot of interesting work here at the communications team. Our main goal and mission on our team is to create accessible communication content products with you all in mind. The participants are our main priority, and we hope to continue to create content that is engaging and just informative. And so that's what we are going to talk to you today about, our newsletter and our rights program. So we're very excited about both. So our newsletter essentially, I don't know if you've noticed, but we changed it up a bit compared to what it used to be before. I'm very excited about it, but I would love to hear everyone's feedback on it. I'm going to walk everyone through on how to access the newsletter, how to get to it, and then kind of just walk you through the entire newsletter itself. I know it's a little bit different, and so I know that there's been some concerns with regards to how do we get there, right? Because the website can be kind of confusing sometimes. So let's do it this way. Take two. So when you go to your regular homepage, you usually, if you see something like this and you're trying to search something, you can just type in BHDDH and our search results will pop up. The first result is our website. If you wanted to go to our site directly, it's bhddh.ri.gov. So while you're on this, it could be very overwhelming because there's a lot to look at. But for us, we're looking for developmental disabilities. If you click on that, on the arrow, it drops down and you just look for newsletter. And that's what we're going to be talking about today. So if you go here, this is where all our newsletters live, not just the new ones that we're creating, but the old ones as well. They go back all the way up until 2020, if memory serves me correctly. Yes. So if you wanted to look at something that's a little older, or if you remember something that happened in August of 2021 and you wanted to check it out, it all lives in this place. So the first thing that we'd like to have everyone do, if you haven't done so already, is to sign up for our newsletter. If you don't have it in your email and you don't get it, that's probably because you haven't signed up for it. It's pretty easy to do. Just click on that button, and then it asks for your email address, and then you put in your name, and then it's just going to click on DD newsletters in general interest and then sign up. You'll get it says, babe, you've been added to our mailing list, you've selected, and as soon as we publish our newsletter on our end, you'll receive it as well. So that's pretty much as easy as it gets with regards to actually signing up for our newsletter. And I've been also asked to sort of walk you through it itself. And our newest one was published on the 15th, which I believe is last Friday. And our newsletter was centered around Developmental Disability Month for 2024 for March. We typically look for the different topics each month, and we centered them around those particular months. Additionally, our Know Your Rights campaign is also peppered into this newsletter as well. I'm an actual a nerdy librarian. So I restructured our newsletter to sort of go by kind of an academic librarian kind of structure. So if you look at it to the top left, you'll see volume 5, which will let you know that this is the 5th newsletter of the year. It also gives you the date. And so on top, this will always change, this top up here, but inside this issue will give you a breakdown of what you'll be able to expect. Every month, this first bullet point is always going to change based off of what the month is about. And this month of March is Developmental Disabilities Month. So, and then we're always going to have a DD update section. And the third part will always be centered around our Know Your Rights campaign. For this month, it's safety and freedom in your life, subjects and centered around how to be and feel safe in your everyday life. The next part will be community news, which will be centered around things such as what's happening in the Sherlock Center or things that are happening in our community. And the last will be our reporting page and also important information. So that centered page will always be the same. I have important numbers that you can use to feel safe, to report abuse, other very important contacts to have. And then we'll always include our BHDDH staff contact list. So you can contact any of us here if you'd like, for whatever reason, depending on if you've lost your social worker's phone number, email, contact information, or you just want to shoot us an email and say you don't like our newsletter or you do like it, you can always just send us out and ask us directly. On the top, we'll always also have a survey that we're hoping to get your feedback on the newsletter. And when you click on the newsletter, it gives you an option on the survey to just sort of be honest. Do you like it? Do you not like it? Do you like the color scheme? Do you like the information that we're providing? What kind of information do you want to see? And the last will always be shared resources, which are typically flyers from other things, other opportunities and community surveys or free workshops that are available to you. So we go down the list of all of the amazing opportunities on our newsletter here. And we just, again, went through everything that was on there. It's peppered out and sectioned out for you. And on top, we put our DD community forum and all the important information so that if you wanted to register for the event, you can as well. And all of the information that's happening within our community will be centered in this particular format. This month is, again, safety and freedom in life. And so Amethyst will go into more detail about what this actually is. But here you get a brief overview of what we were trying to do for this particular this month's Safety Know Your Rights campaign. So it's not just about how to report abuse, but how do you feel safe in personal spaces, safety in community, health and medical safety, and freedom from abuse, which is also very important. We talk about DD updates. And again, we highlight the month of March, community news. And it's pretty much straightforward from there. I don't want to go through the entire thing super fast, but I just wanted to make sure that everyone knew how to navigate this particular newsletter. If you have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat. Everything is pretty much the same. It just looks a little different. We'll be very excited to see and hear what you have to say regarding our particular newsletter. And so next up is Amethyst with our Know Your Rights campaign, and she'll go into greater detail with exactly what that amazing one-pager was about. And there's an accompanied guidebook that goes with it as well, and it'll be on our website as well.
All right. As Joe is getting that ready, we are really excited about a lot of different things that are going on at DDD. One of them is our rights campaign, or worded as our Know Your Right, Your Life, Your Rights program. And our goal with this was to be able to share information with participants and their families about their rights. There are a lot of really great websites and organizations out there that have information about your rights, but it can take a while to search for that information. And sometimes when you find it, it's not always easy to understand. So our goal with our program was to put the information, do the search for you, and put it in a way that we hope is fun and easy to understand. So you'll see on this slide is a schedule of our program for the year. Each month, we're going to be putting out information about different right topics, and most of them will match with an awareness month. So we started with February, where we shared information about your DD Bill of Rights. These are the rights you have in your DD services. In March, we shared information about your safety rights. April, it'll be anti-discrimination. May, healthcare. June, relationships. July, disability rights. August, housing rights. September, voting rights. October, employment rights. November, being stopped by police. And then in December, your program wrap up. For each of the months, we will be putting out at least 2 pieces of information. The first is a 1-page flyer. This is meant to be like a cheat sheet on what your rights are in that topic. So on this screen, you'll see an image of our flyer for the DD Service Bill of Rights. And right next to it is a picture of our accompanied easy read guidebook. This guidebook is going into more detail on the information in the flyer. So if you're curious about what certain pieces mean, you can go into the guidebook and read information in more detail about that. And then we also put out the same information, well, same pieces, a flyer and a guidebook on safety. And you can expect this for the rest of the year on the different topics. And we're hoping, again, that this is something that's fun to use, it's easy for you to find, and most importantly, it's easy for you to understand and use in your daily life. Knowing what your rights are impacts you in so many different ways. And so hopefully this will be a fun resource for you.
Amethyst.
Yes.
Before you go past that screen, can you go back to that? When you mouse over it, it highlights like there's a link. Does that open the actual things?
Yes.
Well, can you just
So
show
we can
me?
show you on our website as well. We have it all listed. So we have the information in a PowerPoint and in a PDF, so you can open it in different ways. And a lot of the information is also on our website, so it's there for you. And we're making it accessible, which means we want as many people to be able to find it, understand it, and use it as possible. And that includes people who maybe use a screen reader.
So when people click the link, if they get the newsletter in a PDF, does the link still open?
I think in the newsletter it would, yes.
Yeah, that's really nice. Yeah.
We have a page on our website Joe's showing right now. If you go on the DDD website under forms, policies, and brochures, click the brochures and guides tab, and right under there, you'll see the Your Life, Your Rights program website. And each month will have its own link to its own webpage.
And while you're there, Joe, can you just go back where you were the other one? This is from Ann because you couldn't type in the Q&A. Can you show people how to sign up for the newsletter? And you guys are amazing, by the way. I love it. You're great.
So Joe's showing right now, again, how to sign up for the newsletter. On the news and updates newsletter part of the website, you'll click a button that says sign up, enter your email, your first name, check off the mailing list, and submit, and you should get an email letting you know.
So just to be clear, once you sign up for that, you won't have to go to the newsletter to find it unless you want to. The newsletter link will be emailed to you when it comes out.
I also just have to add a technical thing that Ann just pointed out, that when we make you a panelist so we can see your face, you can't actually use the question and answer feature. You have to use chat. So Andrew, you have to be watching chat more than question and answers. So it's either we can't see you or you can't ask questions in Q&A. So we voted to be able to see you.
Yeah, I'm watching. I haven't seen anything though.
So getting your feedback, we're constantly learning. We want to make sure that the information and tools that we put out there is the best for you, and you're the best people to let us know how we're doing. So we have 2 surveys that you can answer if you're interested. One is about our newsletter, and there's an online version. You can scan the QR code to get there, or you can also do it on our rights program. And we'll include those links in our newsletter too.
Can I just say that we're very, very excited to be able to just speak to the community, because oftentimes we create product and we don't really get the feedback and see how how it lands on your end. So we're very, very excited. And so if you have a couple of minutes set in your day this week, we would love to get your feedback just to see, you know, how we can make this better, how we can better serve you. If the information is, you know, can you understand it? Is it digestible? Do we need to switch things up? Are the colors okay? We really take a lot of time and effort and energy to pick everything that you see visually, even as small as an image. We mull over it anxiously, and we spend a lot of time on it. So we would love to hear back to see if you really, really do enjoy it, if it makes sense. If it doesn't, we're very happy to just go back to the drawing board and try again. So thank you so much to everyone for giving us this opportunity, and we hope to hear from you soon.
Yes, thank you.
Joanna and Amethyst, we have 16 people from our leadership class and leadership graduate academy here today, and we will totally be happy to send you. I mean, hear that, guys? Let's send some feedback. You're doing great, though. That was a wonderful presentation.
We would definitely love the feedback from everybody, or if you even have ideas of things you'd like to see in the newsletter, the kind of topics you'd like us to cover, kind of information you want us to share, we would love to know that. And if you have any other feedback about DD as a whole, not just the newsletter, you can also send that to our Ask DD email. Do we have that up anywhere? Can we put that up?
I could put it in the chat. Would that be okay?
Yes, please, because I always forget. I say it shorthand, Ask DD, but there's more to it than that.
For sure.
Oh, I just saw a question. Did the newsletter report on the new director? He just started, and our last newsletter came out right before he started. So it will in the next newsletter. We'll have something about the new director. That's a great idea. So if you have any other questions, you can ask your social caseworker. You can ask your provider. You can send it to us through the Ask DD email. You can send anything to the Ask DD email. If you don't know what to do, oh, thank you, Amethyst. Amethyst just put it. It's bhdddh.askdd@bhdddh.ri.gov. It's a little bit long.
All of those links will be in the recording too. All the links anybody mentions, you'll see them in the recording. And on the ANA website, we put all the links there, so you can just click and get to those too.
And they are in the newsletter. In every newsletter, we have a contact page. So the Ask DD email is there. We have our contact list for all of our staff. But we definitely want to hear from everybody.
Yes, and I'm going to plug in the technology survey again, too. We do want to hear it back from everybody on that as well. So please go fill those surveys out. Okay.
And you'll be seeing more on the rights campaign throughout the year. We have all kinds of plans that it just takes time to get to, having some discussion sessions around some of the topics. So we definitely want to get out in the community more and talk with everybody about some of these topics, or any topics you want as well.
Well, I'm not seeing any. Oops. I see one question come through now.
Is Kevin Savage not the director anymore?
Kevin Savage still is the director of the Division of Developmental Disabilities. So he is our director, but we fall under a larger agency, which is the Department of Behavioral Health Care, Developmental Disabilities, and Hospitals. And so Richard Leclerc is the director of our overall agency of BHDDH.
So he's Kevin's boss.
Yes.
And I'm sorry, Andrew, I took your job. I read the question.
Oh.
Don't apologize. And just to clarify, that means that Richard Charest retired.
So Richard Charest has not retired. He got promoted. So he is now the secretary of the Office of Health and Human Services, the Executive Office of Health and Human Services. So he now is Richard Leclerc's boss.
Ah.
Yes. All right. Well, if there aren't any other questions, thank you so much to everybody who has attended. We always appreciate everybody coming. We appreciate your feedback and the questions that come in, and we do look forward to meeting with you on a quarterly basis. Thank you for that great presentation, Johanna and Amethyst. That really was great. Our communications team is great. They really are. Anne has a really great team she's working with. I do too. Everybody on my team, the transition, the self-direction, the employment, the community-based services, everybody on my team too, shout out, doing a great job as well too. And thank you for all those updates.
Matthew has a question, Heather.
Oh, okay. I didn't see. Andrew, do you want to read it to me?
Oh no, Matthew's he's raising his hand. Yeah.
Oh, he's raising his hand. Oh, okay. I saw
Heather.
something come in the chat. Yes, Matthew.
Hi, how are you?
Hi.
I got a question. The technology fund, did that start in the beginning of 2022?
I do believe, yes. Well, not in the beginning. It started in May of 2022. May 1st started our first round of the technology fund.
So if I bought something like February of 2022, it would have been before the tech.
Part of that because we hadn't started the
All right.
program yet, or the initiative.
All right.
How long is the technology fund still going to be available?
It will be in existence until we do deplete all of the funding. So we're actually looking now at new ways of outreaching for the technology fund, and we may switch it up a little bit. So more to come. We are talking about that now, though, about what we can do. Our 8th round. We just finished our 8th round, and so yeah.
One of the people in our leadership class asked this question, and I don't think they're here. They couldn't make it, but Michelle, she had applied for a laptop. Was that what it was? And she hasn't heard back. So what just for everyone, what people do if they apply and then they don't hear back?
So it does take a little while for us to get back to people because, as you can imagine, there's quite a few submissions coming through. Sometimes we need additional information from people. And we start going through the request as the sometimes we're able to do it on a rolling basis. Sometimes we're doing it closer to the end of that round, and each round goes like through a quarter. So it's about a 3-month time frame. So if you haven't heard back and it has been, I will say over 30 days, then you can outreach to, and I want to say it's the tech, we do have an email, and of course I don't know it off the top of my head, but I can give it to someone. Would you still be able to post it here? Unless Cindy,
we can put it in the recording.
Here, she may be able to put it in the chat. I thought I saw Cindy, and Cindy
It's in the chat.
Yeah, she did.
Thank you, Cindy. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
So if you have questions, you can, submit them to that, and we will get back to you to that email.
There's another person. This is just to keep it as general as possible. This person's not here either, but he lives in a group home, and he was explaining to us that he's not able to come to the dinner dance, which Keith is going to give a promo for in a minute. I forgot. He was told it's because now the dinner dance is in May, and it's March now, and he was told that he can't come because they're short-staffed. So what would you recommend he does, Heather? Because that's 2 months away.
So I would recommend that he speak to his social caseworker so that we can help him to figure out that situation so that he does not need to miss the dance.
And just for the sake of the recording, we're going to put that how to contact, because you have a nice website, a nice page on your website about how you can find out who your DD social worker is, because he actually was told he doesn't have one. And I said, no, you do.
Yes.
Just
Everyone in our
misinformation.
system does have a state social caseworker. They do. So
thank you for saying that, though, in the recording, because he is going to watch it. So thank you for saying it publicly, because we just had a leadership graduate class, and that's what people was telling him. And it's nice to hear it from someone who's, in the position of authority, Heather. That's very nice. Thank you. Just want to ask, because we have a lot of people from our leadership class here, Any of you guys have any questions? When we talked about it's okay to ask questions? These are nice people to ask.
Yeah, now would be a time to do it.
And if not, Keith is going to give a shout out about the conference, and presenter is still Keith too.
I do have one question.
Yes. Hi, Mark.
Hi. Hi. I'm sorry. Did you earlier you said something about raffle tickets?
I did. I mentioned that with the technology fund. So if you applied for technology and were approved there were different rounds. If you're not sure of what round you were in, I'm sure somebody who may have helped you submit that request form could let you know which round it was in. And so we sent out a link to the survey to everyone who applied for technology in rounds 1 through 4. And the incentive to complete that survey was this drawing. So if you complete that survey, at the end, it asks you if you want to be put into this drawing to receive a gift card. And there are 4 gift cards that will go out to individuals who, who put in that technology, who complete that technology survey.
Oh yeah, nice.
Yes, it is nice. So tell everybody, complete that survey. I can't say it enough.
Where is the survey?
The
Is it
survey
on?
was sent out, so it wasn't just sent out to everybody. It was sent out, Kathy, to people who received technology through the technology fund in rounds 1 through 4. So when people submitted their requests online, they submitted an email address. With that, you had to put in information. And so we sent that out to the contacts and individuals that we had email addresses for. And so I'm just trying to, again, encourage people to submit that application, because to date, or as of last week, we had just 63 submissions. And again, it's just so important to have that information so that we can help determine moving forward what things we need to do around technology. It helps us to plan for upcoming trainings, what kind of information people want, what they're using their devices for. So then we can have, trainings around that kind of stuff. So again, very important information to have.
We can put the link for that in the recording too, with what you just said about it's only for people that got technology.
Yes.
Okay.
Can Keith do his little elevator pitch? Do you want me to put the website up, Keith, while you talk about it?
Yes, you can.
Take it over, Keith.
This is our shameless plug. Oh.
All right, can everybody
Michael?
see the screen? Can everybody see the screen now?
I can.
Good.
This is our homepage, advocatesinaction.org. And I'm going to click this button right here because somebody read that. Michael, you want to just read what that button says, please? And then
Yeah,
Keith will
it says Rhode Island's 2024 Self-Advocacy Conference. We belong here. We have two days, Thursday, May 9th, and Friday, May 10th.
And if you click it, it's going to open the conference, all the stuff about the conference, and Keith is going to tell you about some of it.
Yeah, take it away, Keith.
All right, thanks, Mike. So we have a 2-day conference. Thursday, May 9th is on Zoom. You have to register from 10 to 2:30 with break in between for lunch. And Friday, it's a dinner dance party. It's at the Providence Marriott from 6:30 to 10 p.m. And all the registration is on our website.
So if I'm not, you don't want me to click it, right? But if you click it, it'll open the
You
registration.
can just show them.
All right, okay. So it says that there, you click here to go to the conference page, because as we get more information, there'll be the agenda. Right now, there's just a really rough agenda. Tell me how much of this you want to read, Keith, or you want to ask Michael to read.
Yeah, and you can read it, Mike, if you want.
All right, it says, welcome to the conference day for We Belong Here. Day one of this year's event takes place virtually over Zoom on Thursday, May 9th from 10 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. There's no cost to join the conference day. You can register for free on this website that you see here. But Wednesday, May 8th is the last day to register conference day one. So be sure to sign in. And if you register before May 1st, you'll enter our conference day raffle. Winners will receive a $25 Amazon gift card. Of course, the raffle winners will be drawn at We Belong Here on Thursday, May 9th. You must be present to win if your name is called. Now, here's what's happening at the We Belong Here conference day agenda. At 10 a.m., there's opening session featuring the leadership class of 2024. At 11, it's morning workshop sessions. And at noontime, we break for lunch. And at 1, there's general sessions. And finally, at 1:30 p.m., there's an afternoon workshop sessions. Now, about this year's conference presentations, our conference planning team is still in the process of accepting and reviewing workshop proposals for We Belong Here. Now, the final date to submit a presentation proposal is Friday, April 12th. We'll update this page with a list of presentations once they've been finalized. And if you're visiting this page before the April 12th deadline and would like to submit a presentation proposal, please visit the Call for Presenters page.
This page is just so you can fill in a form if you want about presenting. And Keith, so should we read this page? You said you wanted to look at the registration page too, so tell me what to go to next.
Just whatever.
You want to just summarize this, Keith?
Yeah, just summarize it. If you want to do a proposal, there's some qualifications that you need to, but it's all on the website.
And if people present, what do they get?
And if you present, the two of your people that present and get the free tickets to the dinner dance.
Yeah. And our conference planning committee met and said and came up with ideas like what would be some good presenter ideas. So Kelly was at that meeting. Kel, would you mind reading it, Kel? The list?
Some good things include this list isn't complete, but it's a great place to start. You're welcome to submit a proposal about a different topic. All the cool things you can do at your local library, art therapy, being assertive and standing up for yourself, being the boss, how to find, hire, and supervise support staff, DD services, what's available, different ways to get around in the community, free resources for Rhode Islanders, how to budget your money, how to recognize scams and avoid them, i.e. email phishing messages and fake phone calls, information about individualized service plans, it's okay to change your mind, living on your own, mental health awareness and how to deal with stress, pet ownership, and what to do about bullying.
Ooh, I love how you read that like a convert, like ta-da!
Yeah, I know,
She tricked
right?
it, it's zingy.
It's great.
There are a couple of questions, Deb,
Oh,
because
Keith,
we're
I'm sorry, I'm
kind of
looking at the
running out of
screen.
time. So just
Grab
wanna make
those
sure.
questions.
Okay, one of the two questions is, are there services that are specifically supported to blind individuals? I don't know if that's related to the conference, but I know that the second one is.
No, that's for you, Heather. People from class asked that one. That's for you.
Oh,
ED
okay.
services.
So yes, there are specific services. If I could have that person's information and get back to them about like what types of supports and services they're looking for, we can absolutely do that.
All right, the second question is from Sharon Cochin, and she wants to know if transition students over 18 can sign up for the dance, or do they need to be out of school?
So I'm just gonna say that there is alcohol at the dance. I don't know if that's a problem, but people in the DD system, adults that we know, have been treated like children so often that at that dance, everyone's an adult. But I don't know the answer to that. Like Michelle deals with teenagers. So Michelle or Keith, like, or parents, just so you parents know, Sharon, if you send your kid to the dance, they'll have fun and we'll watch it, but the bartender won't let them. But, I mean, I think what do you think, you guys?
Well, I don't want to answer for anybody, but I think that as long as they're 18, because like our leadership series and stuff, it's for 18 and up. So, so anybody who wants to come to the conference, as long as they're an adult, it's just no one under 18. But they have to be responsible and not drink because they're underage.
And there's a bar there, but there is not a lot of alcohol drinking going on.
No, it's not a drunk fest.
Yeah,
Making it sound like it's dry. It's not. It's not at all. No, I don't drink, so they can just sit with me.
I do, but there's still not a lot of drinking going on there.
There's still
We have fake beer.
So there's more questions in the Q&A box there.
First one says assessments and text access are not being taken as there are 7-month-long waiting list. Are there other options in Rhode Island for evaluations and guidance based on assessment for augmentative communication? And also, is there a plan to work with person and staff to implement recommendations for augmentative communication technology?
So I can say that, I have heard that there can sometimes be a waiting list at Tech Access. If individuals are receiving vocational rehab services, there's programs you can go through there as well to get assessments done that you might need. Again, if I can take your information and get back to you to see exactly what it is you're looking for, we can talk with our tech expert. She doesn't necessarily do these evaluations, but she's definitely helped some individuals and families, providing them with information about how they can get their technology needs met. So I can definitely do that.
Heather, if I may, there is a group starting to meet to talk about communication needs. And there is likely to be proposed legislation. I don't know if it's actually been proposed yet on something to promote speech and language pathologists for adults and to expand the pool, because we know this is a need. So look for more information about that coming out soon. And if you'd like to be more involved, send me your information. But we are working on trying to expand the pool of people who can do those assessments and also the supports around AAC.
I have to just go back to the conference because I don't remember if we told people the Zoom part is free and the dinner dance is $30, which some people might think it's a lot, but it is a super duper deal bargain at the. And we have to thank the division and Buddha for helping us with that, and also lemontheduck.com. She's a friend who she used to bring her duck. It's a disability awareness thing. A friend used to bring her duck to the conference, and now she gave us a big donation in the duck's honor to help with pay for the conference. So yay!
I love that.
So Deb, should I?
That's a great thing.
Hooray!
Yeah.
Can I say that we're going to propose a session on the rights that Joe and Amethyst talked about?
Absolutely.
Yes.
The one thing, Keith, when Keith was saying there's like just a couple of requirements is that it's nothing about us without us. So every presentation should have someone with lived experience, but not just that person. So like we'd also love to hear one from Ripen with their, little sneak preview about all that fun stuff. That'd be really cool. And I was also wondering, we know people that have benefited from the technology fund. Like maybe people would do a panel talking about it at the conference and pitching it, because it's really helped a lot of people. I'm sorry you haven't gotten a lot of feedback, because it's been wonderful for the people that we've talked to. So.
Well,
we pitch it all the time.
We were talking about doing a potential survey there as well too. Jay and I were discussing that to see what we could potentially do there to just get to increase some of those responses, because we know it's such a need. It's, you know, technology can be wonderful when you know how to use it. And so
at the dinner dance, we're in the foyer, we're gonna have the Board of Elections is gonna be there, or Kate Sherlock, Kate Bowden from the Disability Law will be there with the voting machine, and we're gonna have tables from people from this year's surprise leadership class. You don't know this yet. People from the leadership series will be doing their About Me boxes, which they don't know about yet. So pretend you didn't hear that. It'll be fun. But if you wanted to do a table at the dinner dance in the foyer, that would be great. Keith will give you a little shout out from the stage.
I will talk to them and we can see about definitely about doing that, because we did want to make sure that we did get you know, just more information from these individual, you know, from anyone who's gotten technology basically.
And you can do it, you can do it at one of the open general sessions too. It doesn't have to be there's more people during the day part that are there for more for the information. There's partiers at night.
Yeah. They should be partying that night. That's what they're going there for. I do want to make one plug though, because somebody just reminded me that in April, we are going to have some in-person sessions on technology. So training for how to use your device. And then there'll be in-person sessions and then Zoom sessions. So be looking for the flyer that's coming out. Thank you, Jackie, for reminding me.
We want to reserve in-person spots for our leadership class. We went last year. It was awesome.
Yes.
I know we can't reserve them, but we'll get to you.
They did like that.
Good.
Yeah.
Yes, we want to do more trainings, but again, we want to do trainings that are geared towards what people really need. So need information on that. Yes, there will be flyers. Oops, sorry, Andrew. I just took your job. The question popped up. Do you want to read it?
Yeah.
Thank you.
The question is, where will the flyers be distributed for training in person?
The flyers will be distributed by email. We'll get it out in the newsletter, and to some of our partners, like we'd send it to Advocates in Action, we'd send it to Ripen. So, the Sherlock Center, we, you know, try to send it out to as many, distribution points as possible so everyone can see.
Yeah, looks like we're just about out of time.
Oh, I missed you, Michael.
Yeah, you always keep time for us, Mike. That's
Now to make sure
awesome.
everyone can see the screen. He's just really good at those things.
Can I just say this before we end? Michael, you have a great announcer's voice too. I'm amazed by that. I'm like,
oh, thank you.
gosh.
Heather, you have to see it. I'll send you a link.
Have a great announcer's voice.
Can we send her a link to your videos, Michael, your stories on YouTube? You have to see his stories that he narrates and he makes with cartoons. Oh my gosh, they're amazing.
Yeah, you'll have to see those. Those are good.
Yeah, I did really good with these. It took me a lot of time.
Yeah, well, you're doing really great with them because you do have an amazing voice and pace, and yeah.
Yeah, well, it's 4:30.
Okay. That's
Thank
our
you so
cue. Thank you, everybody. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you for everything. And I hope you have a great first day of spring tomorrow.
Happy spring.
Yes, happy spring.
Have a good one, everybody.
Rest of the day.
Thank you.
Contact the Division of Developmental Disabilities. Phone 401-462-3421. Para dejar un mensaje en español, 401-462-3014. Email bhddh.askdd@bhddh.ri.gov. You can watch this recording again and find out more about the topics that were discussed at www.advocatesinaction.org/ddcommunityforums. produced by advocates in Action Rhode Island for the Rhode Island Division of Developmental Disabilities. Remember, nothing about us without us.